Hey guys, Dark Prometheus here, back with another episode of our Grand Tactician 1861 campaign. So I did have a comment here. It was talking about the sliders and I should upgrade industry. So I don't think it was this patch, maybe it was the previous patch. But think of the sliders exactly what it is, subsidies. So I don't know what the base value is, but think of this as you are giving money to an amount that already exists. So industry can upgrade on its own, even if you don't have industry 1. Let me see if I can find one. I'm pretty sure there was a couple. There's a farming. I think there was one up here. I think. I'm not sure where it was, but I think one did pop up. So what this is literally adding money. So don't think of this as 0. Think of this as 1, and you are adding, to make this simple, because you can't go up to 250k. Think of this as this is 1, and then from between 1 and 250. So the idea is that you already are investing a base amount, not having it. You are required to have industrialization 1 to be able to put subsidies in it. So the idea of it being, as the union, you start off with, just as long as you take the policy, and you could theoretically, as the South, if you change up the historic things that you take, the historic policies. See, they start with industrialization. So you start with a higher upgrade, so you have more railroads, and immigration from Europe increased the population within the Union by 20%, but lowers the unity due to religious unrest and reducing national morale. This policy is required 3 through 4. So we cannot get 3 and go down into restrictions or other troops or emancipation or anything like that. So the max we can get is 2. On our hand, we have King Cotton, which allows us to get, on the growing side, 3 and 4. What does this mean? It means that we will not be able to get high-end weapons that are more late in war, which means our way to get there is diplomacy, and we'll take him off the Union. I plan on getting to industrialization too, but we can't go further than that. That's one of the things there. Kind of answer your comment. I know I put a comment down there. This is a previous save. I didn't restart it. I actually did restart one to see how the over-aggressiveness, and this is the funniest thing that happened. So the army that's at Grafton attacked me down here at the start of the campaign. Since everyone starts with, I think, orange, and they start with, everyone starts in like yellow, I think it is, the campaign. So they can instantly attack me. What I did is I ran back this way, they advanced to here, and then could not actually supply their troops because I came off and cut their supply lines. And that supply line cut caused a morale spiral in that unit. something that they did fix after battles, but it's not fixed with the supply yet. If you cut off a supply, the AI isn't smart enough to kind of do a rear action back and retreat because of supply. But it actually went into a death spiral here, which affected the entire campaign, because at one point I had 3 times the amount of troops because they wouldn't attack me and they were in death spirals in that army, and it was like a 40,000 man army. So I had to fight it, make it retreat, and then it was up here into Union territory, and then it still wasn't resupplying, and it was kind of messed up and weird. I did do another one from there as well to try to test a couple things, and the Union didn't move at all. We had a couple battles out west, but other than that, I saw no armies for the first full year in Kentucky, and they moved their armies a little bit, but that's it. They didn't really attack me, nothing, which I found that was really weird. So we're kind of back to this one. Where we actually see the army of the occupation isn't up here anymore. It moved down over here. So we actually have some armies moving. And we don't have a death spiral going on. Although they don't have a huge morale boost. We'll just have to deal with it from there. But yeah, that will be that. I did figure out how to take Fort Pickens. And that is, you need about 10,000 troops. You need to outnumber them to do anything. The Department of Richmond might be enough to take this one here. And I did make this division brand new. And that one might be able to take Fort Monroe. So yeah, that kind of is the whole spiel. We're in policy what? Militia Act 2. So we can get all of our recruits up to 2 years. That increases that. And then from there, since we don't have a great credit rating, after this we're going to come over and get funding, and funding will help us with our credit rating. But yeah, I think we're in a position to where at least we can hold fronts, which is the biggest thing. Phillips is withdrawal. Army Northern Virginia, yes, of course they are withdrawing. Okay, this has 13,000. We're going to move over here because Jackson's Corps has the most. Then with Longstreet's 12, do the veterans back here. And Longstreet, come over here. I'm going to put this one here. And then D.H. Hill. Actually, I'm going to have D.H. Hill back here. And I'm going to have Barksdale march over here. In case we need a rear guard action. So I only have 3,000, but we have the Army of Ohio over here. It's 20,000. And then the Army of the Cumberland, which is coming down, which is another 20,000. So the Union is slowly getting troops together and centralizing. Does not bode well. We have the Trans-Mississippi Army. I did make this under Samuel Cooper. What we're going to do is we're going to have the Western Army, and then the Missouri State Guard is kind of doing action over here. And we're going to kind of meet in the middle, but we're kind of just waiting. This one will also be ultimately probably the one that's... I probably need an army down by Memphis. A corps. Something that's small, nothing large by any means. Oh, and then Braxton Bragg, Third Corps of the Army of the Mississippi is finally coming up north, so we'll have that. Forest unit's going to be over here. One thing also, if you're playing this, the instant you can do scouting, you want to do it because it actually increases your readiness faster. So that is one thing to note. It is December. We need to be in our winter quarters. That would be preferable. And also to note, being within territory also uses your readiness, so do watch out for that. Okay, let's put Longstreet's Corps here. Barksdale with the CS Veteran Division. It's still technically a division. Or Barksdale, yeah. Wouldn't really call that a corps by any means. And Department of Richmond is holding in case they send anything on C. I am going to create another one as well. Department of Richmond. Make another army in the south. I'm not sure if we can recruit any though. So we need to get Barksdale and Johnson are a destination. Yeah, we're just gonna have to go with what we have, which is about 40,000 less than the Union right now. Missouri State Guard halt there. Another thing to remember is supply depots. Supply depots are key. And I've kind of figured out that in this, see I'm red right here, I need to stop and resupply. Like hold my readiness right there. Otherwise, we'll go into a death spiral. Hills at destination. The Army of Indiana is somewhere over in this vicinity, and they do have a resupply chain at least. Here it is. So see, Ironworks is upgrading because I have extra money. I'm not sure how it works, but we have no subsidies, and so things will upgrade even if you don't have subsidies on. That's one thing to remember. Action score, CS division. Let's halt. Whoops. Put a halt order in. The Longstreet and get in our winter quarters. DHL. So here it is. Gotta look at it here. Order you to perform scanning and choose to improve intelligence gathering on the enemy and readiness of the unit. That increases readiness. Ah. So raiding you don't really want to do unless you're deep in the Union territory. And this is guarding your supply trains. You have no issues with our supply trains at the moment, obviously. We don't have a supply depot here. We're gonna build one. Once I get near the Cumberland Gap, I'm gonna build one over here too. So they can move over here, but I will see them with forced cav. Preferably. Third Corps. We're kind of situating in a way because we want all the corps to kind of fight together. Or at least be able to respond together. With this being built here, there's a unit here. There's 100% of units, probably the Army of Indiana. Be my guess. I don't want to move the Western Army at the moment. Longstreet says destination. Johnston has 46,000 between this and, oh, the Army of the Northwest. We kind of want to hold our flank. Union is printing notes. 4 days, we'll start printing notes. But we are getting our treasury down, which is what we're going to concentrate on next. Army of the Ohio is within range with 20,000 men. And they are going to attack. Okay, Department of Northwest. 5 days, 15 days, 15 days, 18, 29. We're not going to have enough guns. We're not going to have enough units. Alone guns. We're only going to be able to get that if we maybe get production 1. Which that's the thing. I really need to get diplomacy 2. We get musketoons, but quite honestly, we need to grab. We have other issues. That's 20k. I can bring over the CS regulars to reinforce. I am unsure if they'll get there in time. I don't think Barksdale will get there in time. But at least we'll have troops. 6-pounders. Put some 12-pounders and 24-pounders. I should probably be off my desk. And then let's grab from West Virginia, from Virginia. Grab a draftee of some 6-pound guns. Same thing at Jackson's Corps. Let's get another pound. Yeah, we have Hood's Texas Division, CS Veteran Division, time. But probably not. Means we're going to retreat back. The orders will take 2 days to get there. Jesus. And then we'll take it'll take a while to get anything over here. Okay, we need to get our cash flow. It's only another 19 hours before it even gets the orders. You should be moving at speed though. Johnson and Chu are at destination. During the day, I think we can sell you out at this point. That's me clicking off of it. Oh, we were in a defensive mode and they refused to attack me. Ah. Brad gets here, we're going to hold. Okay. As long as that taking 20 days. We're in our winter quarters right now, for the most part. At least in the Army of Northern Virginia we are. Little action in West Virginia, but not much. And nothing out west I care to talk about. Bragg's at destination. We do have a full complement is there now. Wise is going to have to retreat. If he doesn't have the supplies to sustain himself, he can't hold that position. We do have an engagement here. We will have reinforcements from the Army of the Mississippi. But first, we're going to have Beauregard in command of the 1st Corps. And we're going to have our first battle in Kentucky. So let's do this. Play the battle. Wise is still low on supply. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to relieve that siege. We got 56,000 in total. That's between all of our corps. They get all of their units from the start, I believe. Yeah. We're going to be down 2-1 to start with. We are going to attack the enemy. The enemy is at a Springfield area, so this is battle the Cumberland River. If anything, I probably want to look at the Springfield Arsenal right here and see if I have to split anything. Albert City Johnson is in full command. Loring is the only one here right now. Not Loring, Polk. Polk's 1st Corps is the only one here right now. So it's going to be Bushrod Johnson, Breckinridge, Preston Smith, George Manley, and John H. Kelly. So that's the Kentucky State Guards, the Orphan Brigade, Rock City Guards, 27th Tennessee Infantry, and the 1st Tennessee Zouaves. With the Knoxville Artillery and the Tennessee Militia Artillery. So if anything, let's have Loring on the left. There's 2 divisions. Pillow on the right. And we see them here. So our initial scouting says that they got a full front crossed. We're going to deploy a defensive position, but not one that we can be overwhelmed in. We're going to deploy, we got a fence here, and how about we dig in here? Start the day. Like this. I'm still having issues building stuff. There we go. So this is how we're going to deploy. Get the orders down to the core. Go long range. How long until reinforcements come? $19. You see their lines. They're holding at the arsenal and on the other side of the river on the foundry. We're going to dig into the cores come in. We're now back to good morale. Okay. Because unfortunately the enemy can literally deal us a huge blow right now, so we don't want to engage him in a way that is reckless. But we have a long time. It's 17:18, so third corner Bragg will be here in 17 hours, and then second corner Beauregard will be here. Forest Corps will take some time to get here, but the Cav can be decisive on the second day. Well, will technically be the third day actually. They do get here at some point. Just don't see any reason to attack them right now. Looks like the river is iced over. Making it easier to cross in some places. This is January the 1st. Which means the day should end relatively quickly since it's not summer. So the day should end around 16, maybe 1700. And then we can consolidate our forces and hit with 2 corps, the Union left, and hold their right with the other corps. So maybe like that is we'll spread out here on the Springfield Arsenal. We'll come across this open ground, assault them on the Arsenal Road in the wheelworks, while our second corps, or while the third corps under Beauregard goes to the ford and holds them at Buster's Ford and Mueller's Ford, and we'll kind of have them on the paper mill while we push the Union right. If I was Union, I would have been on the other side of Springfield, waiting for me to cross. Likely forcing me to cross either north at Bascom Ellis Railroad, forcing me to cross over the railroad and come on the other side. But at that point, it'd have such an effective defensive perimeter, it wouldn't even matter. They're firing, but I don't know who they're firing on. Someone's getting hit. Weird. Let's see indicators of anyone getting fired at, getting hit. Yeah, they'll arrive tomorrow. We'll have the ability to push them off the hill. If I was the Union, I would be attacking me. Killing these forces on the field right now would actually ensure that it's an even match tomorrow. But the Union's just going to hold in their defensive position. That's another thing as well. Holding your defensive positions, it's not too bad either. Still somewhat light, cloudy day. It is snowing. Visibility is hindered. Marching is tiring. They're trying to get within range to hit George Manny's unit. So is this their first engagement? This might be their first engagement. Oh, we had them all go to long range. But the order can't get out? Oh, they're at short range because that's where they're... skirmishers are. Ah. Makes sense now. It prevents you from firing through your skirmishers. Okay. Which I thought was a issue at some point. Let's look at our order of battle here. So they're out scouting. They'll probably arrive tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Finding volunteers, moorings. What part of the army is this? Oh, those are skirmishers. In our order of battle, okay. We got Bragg holding. Actually, Polk holding the right makes more sense. I don't know. We'll use Polk as our main push. Polk will initialize the attack. Bragg will be on the right. Beauregard will push. Depending on how they show up on the field also. I don't think they're all going to show up next to each other. We might have one here. One here. Okay, we are resupplied. So Beauregard is going to be at the crossing. He needs to be on the road. A normal person. Master's morning report. Okay, everyone was resupplied. Beauregard arrived with his 22,000 men. Bragg arrives with his 15,000 men. We have 15 here. And this is 13. We're going to put him on the road because obviously he's going to march up. We're going to put Bragg on the left. So we're going to march him up beyond the defensive positions and put him here. Beauregard is going to march up to here. Post. Johnson's going to funnel the orders down. And after Bragg is in position, we will initiate the attack with Polk, followed up with a movement with Bragg on the outside, and a holding maneuver on the Union forces here. Okay, Bragg is moving. Got his orders. Beauregard is going to be late to the party, obviously. He's got a longer way to go, and it's going to take him some time to get in position. Also, it's going to take some time for the orders to get there. Morale of the federal troops is not as high as ours is. However, they only attacked us with what can be considered one corps. Okay, Beauregard is moving. Luckily and hopefully we will not lose Albert Sidney Johnston in the first engagement for the Army of the Mississippi. I think the Army of the Mississippi had quite a few engagements before Shiloh. I know there was portions of the commands over at Fort Henry, but I don't think there was portions of the Army of the Mississippi. I know Forrest was at, in certain aspects of the Army of the Mississippi were at Fort Donelson. Real life. Watched a video on that. In losing Fort Donelson, I actually lost Robert Sidney Johnson 13 or 14,000 of his army, which could have possibly turned the tide of Shiloh. Granted, if he hadn't have been killed. But those 13,000 might have been able to be pushed and dealt with Grant faster than he could pull up Don Carlos Buell. Which I think Don Carlos Buell is the one over in... Actually, I think it's Grant is the one in West Virginia right now. Okay, let's get the orders up from the Army of the Mississippi to go long range for the entire army. We can get orders over here. We're going to initialize the attack whenever rear guard finally gets there. So we have Herbert's Brigade, Little's, the Southern Revengers. We got the Magnolia Regiment, Brody Guards, the Dixie Brigade, Alexandria Rifles, High Pressure Brigade, or Janice Daniel, Southern Rifles. Over here, sorting out on our right, Peach State Artillery, Atlanta Howitzers, Helms Battalion, Southern Florida Bulldogs. Georgia Bulldogs is the state team, college football team. Florida Brigade, Wool Hat Boys, Blue Ridge Rifles, and the Pelican Regiment. We also have moving the Crescent City Guards, Rebel Rangers. Okay, let's get polks. Four sorted. Pull in skirmishers. I then want you to go to a double line. We're gonna have to time this right. Actually, it might make sense to start the battle with Beauregard's forces. Okay, Scurry is going to come up with the cannons. I do need to go to a single line here. Actually, I'm thinking about it. Get that double line here. Double line is going to come up here. They did extend their lines, it seems. Move the howitzers in space. As we move the infantry together, forward, anticipating tonight's attack. Or what's technically tomorrow's attack. We stage the forces. Do a little pre-artillery bombardment. We see they have a line here. Before we advanced up, they did have some men protecting their right flank and their supply lines through Springfield. We're going to try to push through Brewster's Ford and to their rear. I don't know how this is going to work. We're going to try. We do have McCook's detachment. Go limber here. If I have to shift a part of this core over, I will. The idea is have rear guard in combat first. Wires. You guys are going to be the first ones across. Smith was killed at the head of his troops. It's Preston Smith was KIA. Get the troops up, go long range. Okay, initiate the attack. Initiate the attack on the left. Across the river with your men. Where's our corps commander? First corps, I need you over here. Now to stabilize these two units. What are you doing? Engage the unit in front of you. They're trying to refuse their line here on the right. Right through the Union Center. Break through them, men. Come on. Rally the men, boys. Okay, it's time to collapse their side. No! Get in defensive position, men. Failed in that position. Good thing I'm bringing up reinforcements. That one's a real meat grinder right there. The center. plug this gap. First battery surrenders. 35 men. It's only the first battery, but it's something. Next one, 1st Brigade surrenders with 916 men. There's a blow to the Union forces in the area. I am going to plug this gap with this unit. 2nd Brigade with 2,000 men surrenders. The Union is losing morale here. They're at 19. I don't think they're going to stand and fight much longer. Branch has been wounded. Wolf is in combat. Put off their escape, men. The cannons are finally in position. We have another failing unit. It is Branch. We will move up this unit here. End of the day, darkness has fallen. So Kelly is losing men. Where's Kelly? Where's Smith? Branch was wounded. Okay, I'm gonna put you here. We're gonna put Smith in the rear. We're gonna plug that gap with this. Jackson's gonna be here. Breckenridge, Squires, Gibson. Where is Smith? Oh, it's Kelly and Branch. Well, Branch is moving back. Where's Kelly? That's Smith. Johnson, Breckenridge, Riggles, Frubel, Squires, Gibson, Little, Wolf, Daniel, Herbert. Where the... Is Kelly the one that retreated off the field? Forrest is now here. 'Cause Where is Kelly? Kelly is already withdrawn from the battlefield. Just fine. All right, let's reconstitute our lines. Reconstitute our cannons at night. So we're gonna come down that road. Still hasn't retreated yet. There she goes. We've cut the Union lines. We're moving to block this crossing here. There goes another one. The enemy is retreating. Trying to disengage here. And we got more units that are retreating. And this will end your battle. We lost 5,000 men, and they lost half of their force under George B. McClellan. Let's inspect the battlefield. Look at the commanders. Polk was killed in the fight. And so was Colonel Smith. So we have our first casualties of the war for generals. I don't know who's going to take over the First Corps. Branch was wounded. Maybe Donaldson? Colonel Smith was killed, the Rock City Guards. Maybe it'll have to be Breckinridge. Maybe we'll have to move someone over from another corps. So Leonidas Polk was killed at the Battle of Cumberland River. The Union, McCook and Morris are injured. Leadbolt is wounded. Hazlitt was captured, and so is Colonel Colts. Of Ross's, Ewing's wounded. And that's it there. So, losing a corps commander. It looked like the ones directly in the fighting here. Looks like it was First Corps. Coming up the middle that had the worst of it. Under Polk. Mostly the fighting volunteers here. And the most casualties. Next one there is Third Corps under Bragg that had the outside attack on our left. And it looked like Beauregard's Corps did pretty well coming across. As for the combat report, looks like Third and First Corps pretty even. Actually, Third Corps killed 600 more. We'll have to see. We will have to see who is what. After that, after Leonidas Polk is killed at the Battle of Cumberland, we are looking for a new corps commander. Anyone get some good experience? Colonel Branch, who was wounded in combat and his men ran, he's fallen from disgrace, so it will not be Colonel Branch. You're definitely going to have someone come up. Well, at least it wasn't our army commander. But losing Leonidas Polk, That is a big, big blow to our forces here. Killed in action. Leonidas Polk. Okay, so in the next episode, we will figure out who is going to be taking over for Polk. We're going to promote someone and kind of do it that way. So, go ahead and leave a like below, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Later.